All right, we're back. I'm gluing in the the popsicle sticks. What we did at first was we just glued them all to one side and then pieced it together and held it together with the tape. Brought it over to the cart and got it to fit on here. It was pretty tight. It's fitting between here yet, so that's good. Rather than loose, we can always take the 90 and grind a little bit on the outside and then just add it back to the inside to give it the beef, because what we're going to do is we're going to use the rivet nuts on here to hold the side pieces on and the air box all in one go. So as we're going ahead and doing the popsicle stick thing, I jumped in here and it's popsicle stick says, why couldn't the dog get the apple? You got to eat the popsicle to find out the answer, and the answer is he was barking up the wrong tree. The kids, man, they eat the popsicles, you know, and when I'm playing with the sticks out here, you know, this is what happens. So here, let me set you down, and we'll go ahead and glue this last one in here. Yeah, you work with these high temp glue guns long enough, and you will burn the daylights out of your fingers. It's just like anything else, welding or whatever. When you work in that type of field, and now I don't have enough glue, and now it's really burning me. You'll get injuries, right? I mean, you get sunburnt on the arms from the welding and what have you. You play with these things here, and your fingers will get burned. It generally doesn't take a whole bunch of glue, but because that stuff probably started cooling off because this fan's blowing right on us. You just sticking it right across that transition here where we cut it, right here. We're just trying to get the where we cut it apart flush. It doesn't need to be perfect because we're going to do some grinding to the outside of it anyway to put the one single layer of 1.5 ounces on top. So it'll be relatively uniform because this whole surface here will get a layer, and so will this here. So we're going to do some grinding to it as well to try to get it, the shape of it right. You know, you can see where we stopped with the original Buddha and then went with the snorkel. There's a sharp spot or a flat spot here. So we'll grind a bunch of this off and kind of feather all this in before we put that one layer on. As you can see, we got big fatties on either end here because it wants to buckle, it wants to bow. You can see in the video where we made the other air box for the radiator that went just on the back as an auxiliary radiator to that front one. We had to do the same thing. Actually, I think we stood it up this way because it was so bowed out of shape, but this here isn't all that bad. So now we can go ahead and peel this tape off. And another clue, this is cheap hardware store house painting tape, right? This blue stuff. Don't use expensive tape. I mean, masking tape, just general yellow masking tape can be pretty pricey. You know, $8-10 just for a roll of 2-inch. This stuff here is quite a bit cheaper. Get into the green stuff, even 3/4. This a new roll of this stuff is, the paint store is probably another $8-10, man. It's prices. So I used to do a lot of helmet painting, so I used a lot of good tapes. But you don't want to use that for just holding things in place, you know. So that's our one piece. Now what we can do is take some good tape, like it's a 2-inch masking, and fill in on the backside between here on the inside, and then we can go ahead and surface it out a bit, grind it down, and get ready to put our patch layer on. I've gone ahead and kind of pre-fit this old panel that I made. I copied the back panel of this thing before we put it together, right? And so that's what we'd use for the to make our directional vein. we'd fit it up in there like so. But it needs a lot of cutting because it didn't fit the center line. It fit the outside. It was a lot longer distance. So that'll be a little bit more work, cutting and trimming, piecing it together. But we'll go ahead and grind where we're going to put that thing in there, and we'll get it as tight as we can so we can wedge it in there. And then we'll use the big tongue depressor to put the filler, a filler on either side of it, so it's bonded right to the inside. And that's it. Let me turn you this way. We'll see if we can't get it to go on the old go-kart here real quick before we say goodnight to y'all. It was tight through here. But you like it. You like it to fit snugly. And boy, that thing fits like a glove, folks. You gotta come see this. Better than even I expected with the tape on it. I mean, it's right there. We got some little gaps, but like usual, we're gonna put either some fuel line or something on that bottom edge. I don't have any more of that fancy black rubber stuff, but you see where it's sitting up here. It's a little shy through the side there. So we can sand the front and the back where it sits on the tank to get the sides to sit down a little bit, and we will. We'll tune that up. We'll tune that up a little bit too as we go. But look at that, man. She's you know what we could do? You know what we can do? Because we can see through it. I can bust out the 200-mile-per-hour blower and blow air down the side panel. We can put all kinds of little pieces of yarn or something on the inside of here and watch what it does. What do you think about that? Let's play around while we can. We got time, right? Yeah, that ought to be an interesting video to see how the air actually does things in through here. Heck yeah, why not? It sounds like a plan. I have to bust into the crochet package, you know what I'm saying? But there we go. There's we're getting it together. We've still got more than 3 weeks before the race weekend out there at Gingerman. So I think we're gonna be okay. Side panel sitting in the mold over there at Rich's, as you saw in them other videos. Kind of looking forward to adding the bodywork back here, see how she looks, you know. But that's it. I didn't bring you the welding. We welded the bumper. I actually pulled a gap in there a bit. Had to readjust the mounts because obviously the bumper moved back a little bit. But we welded her up good and solid, and then I metal finished it down. Why? Because I'm an idiot like that. I like everything a certain way. I actually should have used flat paint instead of semi-gloss, but hey, what do you do? There you go. It's quitting time. It's about 5:30 on Tuesday the 20th. So yeah, we'll shut her down for the night. Hope you all are having fun. Thanks for spending the afternoon with me. And man, get on a project of your own. Hook me up. Let me know what you're doing. God bless y'all.